Most people spend their entire lives trying to escape the shadow of a famous last name. But imagine carrying one of the most recognizable surnames in music history, knowing the world will compare your every move to the greatest entertainer who ever lived. For years, Jaafar Jackson quietly stayed out of the spotlight, working on his own music and chasing his own dreams. Then, almost overnight, the world discovered him after he was chosen to portray his legendary uncle, Michael Jackson. Was it simply because he was family? Or was there something much deeper that convinced filmmakers he was the only person capable of bringing the King of Pop back to life on the big screen? Today, we're taking a closer look at Jafar Jackson's early life, his personal life, and the journey that prepared him for one of Hollywood's most demanding roles. Let's begin. Jafar Jeremiah Jackson was born on July 25, 1996 in Los Angeles, California, into one of entertainment's most famous families. He is the son of Jermaine Jackson, one of the founding members of the Jackson 5, and Alejandra Genevieve Oaziaza, who was born in Bogota, Colombia. Jafar has a younger brother, Your Majesty Jermaine Jackson, who was born in 2000. Through both of his parents, he has 11 siblings, 9 brothers and 2 sisters. One of those half-brothers, Jermaine LeJean Jackson Jr., who was born on January 27, 1977, portrayed their father, Jermaine Jackson, in the 1992 television miniseries The Jacksons, An American Dream, a biographical drama that chronicled the rise and legacy of the famous Jackson family. Growing up as a Jackson meant music was always present. Songs, rehearsals, recording sessions, and stories about the family's incredible journey weren't just things Jafar heard about. They were part of everyday life. But unlike what many people assume, he didn't immediately dream of becoming a singer. In fact, Jafar's first passion was golf. As a child, he practiced regularly and even competed in youth tournaments. For several years, he imagined a future on the golf course rather than on a concert stage. Everything changed around the age of 12. His father noticed that Jafar had inherited the family's musical abilities. Encouraged to explore his voice, he began singing, writing songs, and teaching himself to play the piano. It wasn't long before he realized music wasn't simply part of his family's legacy. It had become his own passion. Like many members of the Jackson family, Jafar also developed a love for dancing. Friends and relatives noticed how naturally he moved and how much he resembled his famous uncle, not because he was trying to imitate him, but because performance seemed to come naturally. Still, his parents encouraged him to develop his own identity instead of trying to become another Michael Jackson. That advice would shape his career for years to come. Being born into one of the world's most famous families comes with extraordinary opportunities, but also extraordinary pressure. Every Jackson is measured against generations of musical greatness. For Jafar, family gatherings often included people whose names were already part of music history. His uncle, Michael Jackson, wasn't simply a global superstar. To Jafar, he was family. He has spoken fondly about spending time with Michael during childhood and remembers him as warm, kind, and encouraging. Those personal memories would later become incredibly valuable when preparing to portray him on screen. Growing up, Jafar admired many artists besides Michael. He has mentioned being inspired by legends like Frank Sinatra and Stevie Wonder, appreciating different musical styles rather than limiting himself to one genre. Those influences helped shape his own musical taste and reminded him that great artists learn from many sources. Unlike many celebrity children who constantly appear in tabloids, Jafar has always preferred privacy. He's active on social media when promoting his work, but outside of that, he rarely shares details about his daily life. Friends describe him as calm, humble, and focused. Rather than chasing headlines, He spent years quietly improving his singing, songwriting, dancing, and overall performance skills. One aspect of his personal life that has become public is his long-term relationship with Maddie Simpson. The couple began dating in 2016 and later announced their engagement, sharing the happy news with fans after years of keeping much of their relationship private. Those close to Jafar often say he values loyalty, family, and authenticity far more than celebrity status. That attitude has helped him navigate the enormous expectations attached to the Jackson name. Raised in a Muslim family, Jackson embraced the Islamic faith from an early age. In early 2020, he traveled to Mecca, Saudi Arabia to perform Umrah, the sacred pilgrimage that millions of Muslims undertake each year. He later shared photos and videos from the spiritual journey on social media, giving fans a glimpse into the meaningful experience. Although people constantly compared him to Michael Jackson, Jafar wanted to establish himself as his own artist. Instead of rushing into releasing music, he spent years writing songs and experimenting with different sounds. He also uploaded covers of classic songs, showcasing both his vocal ability and stage presence. Fans quickly noticed something remarkable. His voice carried certain familiar qualities that reminded listeners of Michael. His dance moves also displayed incredible rhythm and precision. Yet, Jafar never claimed he wanted to replace or imitate his uncle. He consistently explained that he simply wanted to make honest music that reflected who he was. That distinction mattered, because building your own identity is much harder when everyone expects you to recreate someone else's. In 2019, Jafar officially introduced himself as a recording artist with his debut single, "Got Me Singing." The upbeat pop track blended modern production with catchy melodies and showcased his smooth vocals. The music video attracted attention not only because of his famous surname, but because viewers could immediately see his natural charisma as a performer. Many fans praised his confidence and stage presence. Others couldn't help noticing how certain expressions and movements echoed Michael Jackson. Still, Jafar focused interviews on his own music rather than family comparisons. He explained that he hoped audiences would eventually know him for his own artistry. Although plans for a larger music project were discussed, his career soon took an unexpected turn. One opportunity would completely change his life. In 2023, producers searching for someone to portray Michael Jackson began an extensive, worldwide casting process. Hundreds of performers were considered. They weren't simply looking for someone who looked like Michael. They needed someone capable of capturing his voice, movements, emotions, and humanity. After a lengthy search, director Antoine Fuqua and producer Graham King made their decision. The role went to Jaafar Jackson. The announcement surprised many people. Some assumed family connections guaranteed him the part, but, according to the filmmakers, that wasn't the case. Producer Graham King later explained that nearly 200 actors were considered before Jafar's audition convinced the creative team he was the right choice. For Jafar, landing the role wasn't the end of the challenge. It was only the beginning. Portraying one of history's greatest entertainers demanded extraordinary preparation. Jafar spent more than 2 years studying every detail of Michael's performances. He watched countless hours of concert footage. He analyzed interviews. He practiced the voice. He mastered the dance routines. He even studied Michael's personal writings to better understand the emotions behind the public image. Working alongside choreographers who had previously collaborated with Michael helped him recreate iconic performances with remarkable accuracy. Rather than trying to deliver an imitation, Jafar focused on understanding Michael as both an artist and a person. That emotional connection became one of the defining aspects of his performance. Stepping into the shoes of Michael Jackson wasn't simply another acting job. It carried enormous emotional weight. Millions of fans around the world have deeply personal memories connected to Michael's music. Every dance move, every smile, every gesture. People know them by heart. Jafar understood those expectations. Instead of becoming overwhelmed, he embraced the responsibility. He described portraying his uncle as one of the greatest honors of his life and expressed gratitude for the opportunity to help tell Michael's story for a new generation. In April 2026, Jaafar Jackson received special recognition during a ceremony honoring Michael Jackson in Gary. During the event, Mayor Eddie Melton presented him with the key to the city, acknowledging both his contributions and his family's enduring legacy. Released in April 2026, Michael made an extraordinary debut at the global box office, earning $217 million during its opening weekend, the biggest opening ever for a biographical film. While the movie received mixed reactions from both critics and audiences, one aspect drew near-universal praise: Jackson's standout performance, which many reviewers described as the film's greatest strength. The film's momentum continued in the months that followed. By June 2026, Michael had grossed $977 million worldwide, surpassing every previous biographical film to become the highest-grossing biopic in cinema history. Although many people now recognize Jafar because of the Michael biopic, his ambitions extend far beyond one film. He remains passionate about music. He continues writing songs, and many fans hope he'll eventually release more original material that fully showcases his own artistic identity. At the same time, the success of his acting debut has opened doors to future opportunities in Hollywood. Whether he chooses music, acting, or both, one thing is becoming increasingly clear: Jafar Jackson isn't trying to become the next Michael Jackson. He's trying to become the first Jafar Jackson. And perhaps that's exactly what makes his journey so compelling. Growing up inside one of music's most famous families could have made life easier, or much harder. For Jafar Jackson, it brought both privilege and pressure. He spent years quietly developing his talents before the world finally noticed. Today, he's carrying forward one of entertainment's greatest legacies while working to create one of his own. Only time will tell how far his career will go. But if his early journey has shown us anything, it's that talent may open the first door, but dedication is what keeps it open.